All right, I think I can actually fucking start now. What up, what up, what up? I'm Ashley motherfucking Ray. If you're here, you're probably a member of the Brown Girls Billionaire Gang. And if you're not, you may have gotten this, I don't know, on some sweet ass fucking deal that I offered you. Either way, be prepared to be entertained and learn a fuck ton of shit. So with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Make sure you have your pen and your paper ready so that you can take notes, because at the end of this, I'm going to open it up for questions. And if you're getting this as a playback or whatever, then I would advise you to, you know what, listen to the questions as well, because you may learn a lot and get the questions answered that you have for yourself. All right, so let me share my screen. All right, all right, all right. Yes. Okay. So, business plans, business plans, business plans. I get asked this question so fucking much. Like, what do I need to do? What is it all about? Why is it so goddamn long? Why? You know what? As a matter of fact, I think I need to show you guys here. No, they don't have to be a million fucking pages. When I actually told my colleague about this, my home girl, my partner in crime, she said, what? They do have to be a million fucking pages. And I'm like, well, it depends on what we're using this for. And so, with that being said, I'm going to explain when it needs to be a million fucking pages and how you can get around it. Okay. I would like to zoom to fit, and I don't know why I can't make this big as fuck. Like, I don't understand why. Woohoo! I got it. Ow! That bitch is cooking with fish grease now. Ow! Bam! Can't stop me. All right, let's get this thing rolling. So, who needs them, and should you write your own? So now I know how to change the page. Okay. I'm like, God damn. All right. So, what is a business plan? Let's start with that. What is a business plan? Well, I know right now in the internet, especially in the internet industry, like, because even if you have a brick and mortar business, you know what? Even if you have, if you're selling products or services, chances are you are on the internet. You are doing social media to get attraction. You probably doing some type of attraction marketing, content marketing, Facebook ads, all kinds of shit, right? And so nowadays, it's really easy to start a business. I mean, most people start a business without the proper structure. Like, there's no registration, there's no doing business ads, there is really no plan. It's a lot of, well, I had this idea and I'm just going to step out here and I'm going to try to create some shit. And while y'all know I'm all for the whole let's make a plan, let's make a jump, let's leap, I feel like you need to do it the right way so that you have certain steps in place that you don't have to redo it. You know, trial and error is inevitable, but you can at least have some a solid foundation, a solid plan. Because when you think about it, you know, if you don't know where you're going and you don't have the steps to get you there, then you're kind of just spinning your wheels, you know, and that makes for a very frustrating and depressing trip. Okay. I had it explained to me the other day where it was like, I actually was listening to something by Earl Nightingale, and he was saying that if you have a ship that has a crew and you have the captain at the helm and you've got your navigation, you know, you got your plan, your compass, your blueprint, then you can make it 9 times out of 10 from point A to Z. But if you just open the you just open the ship up, you get up there and you start the engines and nobody's there to guide it, lead it, chances are it'll spin around. And even if it does make it out of the dock, it's probably going to sink or wreck. Right. And so we don't want you sinking or wrecking. We want you celebrating your success. So a blueprint is literally a plan for success. It is the thing that's going to get you from idea and conception to materialization. But not only will it get you to materialization, you will be able to track and measure your progress. So there are 2 types of blueprints. You have a formula what the fuck? Blueprint and informal blueprint. So today I'm going to explain the difference between the two, but we are mostly going to be talking about an informal business plan. And the reason for that is because the informal plan will keep you focused and on track for yourself. The formal plan is the plan that you need a million fucking pages for, right? So I'm asking this question, do you need a plan? Well, the thing is, of fucking course you need a plan, but it's just really the differentiation between if you need a formal one or an informal one. So with that being said, let's talk about the things that this plan will help you with. If you need outside funding, you can start with an informal plan. However, you eventually are going to want to transition to a formal plan, probably cultivated between you and a specialist, okay? You can absolutely start with the informal one to give you some guidance, but eventually you're going to transition. And that's okay, because creating the informal plan, the in-house plan is what I'm going to call it, since I'm clearly having problems with vocabulary today. The in-house plan is going to allow you to stay focused, and as well as when you go throughout, you can grow your plan as your business grows. It improves the chances of your success. And so what I mean by that is, if you don't know where you went wrong or what's not working for you, you're not evaluating things, you're not hitting your goals, or you don't even know if you're hitting your goals, you have a very hard, you have a lot of odds against you, right? So it's much harder to reach success if you don't know if you're on target, okay? And again, it's a map to grow your business. So what I was talking about earlier, when I said as your business grows, you can grow your plan. No business plan starts out and ends the same. It doesn't. A lot of that comes with the trial and error that you experience through your business. And so you'll notice that you'll make tweaks and changes, and things that you thought were going to be a part of your business are going to go away. And revenue that you thought you were going to make from a certain activity may not be the case. Okay. Further, it keeps your business operational. And that kind of goes back to, improving the chance of your success and having that roadmap, because it's easy for us to get tangled up in the tiny details and plans and strategies. And it really does. It does make it easier for you to follow the important shit, the things that keeps your business operational. I am going to put my phone on silent because it is tripping me all the way up. Okay. And it allows you to manage your money easier. So what I mean by that is you can track your revenue. If you anticipated making a certain amount of money by the first quarter or the third quarter or whatever, you can compare what you projected versus what you actually did. I think a lot of times, because I'll give you a good example. You first start out and you're in business and you're like, yo, I want to be a millionaire, or I want to make six figures or whatever. And it gets tough and times get hard. And next thing you know, I just want to fucking pay my goddamn rent. I just want to pay my fucking car note. Can I eat today? Right? So things change. And you'll start to get complacent just because you're like, oh, I paid my rent this month with my business money. So obviously, I'm doing well. But when you look at it and compare it to what you actually projected, you can see how far off you are or how close you are. So yes, motherfuckers, you need a plan. Can you write it yourself? Well, that is going to depend on you. Is it informal or is it formal? So if it's formal and you have experience with this, or maybe you got a homegirl who knows how to do this and maybe she's willing to help you or whatever, maybe she's so kind and she's not going to charge you $1 million to do it, then okay, maybe you want to go the formal route. But if you're a person who can do a little bit of, getting your hands dirty, do a little elbow work, put some elbow grease in it, like my daddy used to say, you can probably work this out. One of the key factors, though, is writing skills. If you don't have writing skills, I'm not going to say that you can't do your own plan, but what I am going to say is you need to be able to communicate your intentions, right? It needs to come across so that whoever picks up your plan, or especially the people who are looking to help you or invest or partner with you, can understand what you are trying to convey to them, right? And then the other thing you need is patience. Patience because you're gonna be frustrated if this is new to you. If this is the first time you've ever done this, if you've never even heard of a business plan or knew that you or thought you had to have one or whatever, you're gonna need patience because there's going to be some revisions. Okay. I highly recommend that you get another person to look it over for understanding and comprehension after you have written it, so that you can be sure that you haven't left anything out. It's no confusion and it's a very clear picture of what your business represents. So, what should you include? What are the ingredients of this here business plan cake, right? So, the type of business is the first thing that's going to matter because, there's a few variables on what you should include. And the type of business is definitely going to make a difference. So whether it's a product-based business or a service-based business or a brick and mortar business versus an online business, if it's the way that you deliver things, rather drop ship or you keep inventory, all those things are going to matter. And so your plans will differentiate a little bit. But once you get that part down, you can actually start to see templates and things like that for you to compare or at least get an idea of structure on how you would do your own plan. And then you want to think about the long-term results. So when you're considering, okay, what is all the things that need to go in here? What are all the things that people want to know? You want to consider what are your long-term results for the business plan as well as for the business. If you're only projecting, for a year out or something like that because you're going to keep it in-house, well, then you may not need to include as much stuff as you do for something that's going to project for 5 years or 10 years, or one that you even need a $75,000 loan for. Okay, so those are all things to consider, as well as the reason for creating this plan. And that kind of goes, they kind of overlap, these things do, right? Because if the reason for creating your plan is for a sponsorship or for funding, then you're definitely going to need a few more ingredients to your business plan cake than someone who just is trying to stay on track for themselves or who wants to use it to partner with someone for a particular event or something of that nature. But again, if it's something super, super detailed that you need to be doing for the next 10 years and you need, $100,000 loan and all that, the reason you'll notice that on the bottom of every slide, it says stick to the basics and save the intricate shit for the professionals. Because if you are putting that kind of money on the line where you're going to have to pay back a $100,000 loan or you need $100,000 to get started, then you need to be investing in someone who's going to do a very detailed plan for you. Again, I'm going to say this once more. It's better to have something than nothing. So even if you can't get an intricate plan done with professionals, it's better for you to build this basic business plan for yourself so that you have something to present to the people that you want to help you with the plan. Okay, does that make sense? Because that's another thing too. If you go to somebody to help you build a business plan, it really looks good for you to have something to start from, a foundation. And that means that you have been putting in the work, putting in the effort, and taking your business and yourself seriously. Okay? Okay, so how the fuck do you write it? Let's get to it, B. Ow. The first step, the executive summary. So what's funny about the executive summary is that even though it shows up first in your business plan, it's actually created last, okay? So it's a high level explanation. It's a bird's eye view, right? It's like looking at Google, Google Maps, trying to figure out where you're going. You let the pin drop on your iPhone or whatever. You're looking at it from above, okay? And so it's literally just a glance into what your business is. Again, it shows up first, but you create it last. And the reason that you're creating it last is because you want to get all of the elements in that you need so that when you create this overview, you've included all the things that are pertinent to what you were trying to convey. So let's talk about the company description, which is actually the second part of what has to be in your business plan. So the company description is going to include the moving parts of your business, the elements, the entities that creates your business, and then how to piece it together. So what I mean by that is let's talk about Brown Girls Billionaire Gang, because why not? Duh, I'm hosting this shit. So when we talk about the moving parts of my business, the elements of the Brown Girls Billionaire Gang, which is a multimedia and educational company, there are different components. So there's the media component, right, where we are doing TV shows and hosting others TV shows. There is the educational portion, which is where you are right now, getting this training, okay? Then there is the networking portion, where I am putting people together that fit with one another. Okay. Then there is the exposure portion. And that portion is where we have the bloggers that come in, and we have press coverage and media coverage, right? And then we have brand ambassadors. Okay. So those are all the moving pieces that make up Brown Girls Billionaire Gang. But how do they all fit together? And so in the company description, that is how I'm able to pull together the multimedia platform and the educational platform. And it shows how we're connecting, uniting, supporting, and exposing brown girls and business, right? You see how quickly I can tell you that? That is what you want for your company description. You want to be able to say, okay, these are the things that make up my business. And then this is how it all fits together to create it as a whole. So if you are a makeup company, for instance, okay, you have things where maybe you sell retail, maybe you partner and you do wholesale as well. Maybe you have some form of an MLM that you've created, or a direct selling company that you've created. And then also maybe you have a cause. Maybe you donate to a charity or organization, or maybe you represent a charity or an organization, or whatever. You put all of those things together in order for you to say, okay, now we bring this all under this one company, right? So if you have, say, a coaching business, I'm going to touch on that because I have a lot of coaches around me. Maybe they do coaching, speaking, and blogging. So those are the moving parts of their business. Maybe they have a TV show or radio show or something, right? And so those are all the moving parts of their business. And then you have to tell us how it all fits together. Now, one key part of this, probably the most important part of this, is once all the pieces fit together, then how does it generate you revenue? Okay, so we're going to get into that next. So the moving parts, now it's time, because that was just a quick description, correct? So the moving parts are your products and your services, essentially, right? Your branches, your entities, the things that make up the business. Now, this part here, the products and services section, location, portion of your business plan, allows you to go into depth or go in depth about what they are, how they work, who it's for, stuff like that, right? So services that you plan to offer, these are going to be the products that you plan to offer. And then you want to talk about, this is where you can show people how you're different to someone else in the same business. So you want to compare yourself to competitors. And, when we are trying to build up our CEO mindset, when we're trying to build our business, one of the things we always say is never compare yourself to someone else. There's not another fucking soul that shines like you. You are who the fuck you are. Now, there's an exception to that when you are trying to explain your company to someone who has financial interest in your company, or vice versa, okay? So you want to make sure that you do compare yourself to competitors. You want to show what stands out. So let's talk about that makeup company who represents or has a charity or nonprofit that's kind of attached to it, right? I like to call those social change companies, which is what Brown Girls is actually. So when you compare to competitors, say if you're a makeup company and you're comparing yourself to MAC, okay, what makes you different is that, say for instance, not only do you donate to that charity, maybe you employ those people, or maybe you do a campaign for that charity because you do a full-blown campaign for that charity so that the funds go to them. If you are a coach, right, what makes you different from other coaches? It could be that you individually touch every single person that comes your way. Maybe it's that you are a Christian coach, but you're a Christian coach that literally will pray for you and cuss you out, right? Maybe you are a person who works only with a particular ethnicity or a certain demographic, or maybe it's so niche down that it's like people with a particular disease or something, right? So meaning that you help a certain group of people because they can't help themselves. You just have to differentiate what it is. If you are selling some type of aesthetic services, things that improve appearance, and you can't just say, oh, I sell makeup, or oh, I sell skincare, or oh, I do hair. You need to be able to tell me why your service is different and or better than the next person, because I need to know what's the thing that is going to trust me to partner with you, sponsor you, invest money in your causes and your events and your business, because I want to know that I'm making a good decision. And I want to be able to say, okay, I can identify with that. I can relate to that. I get it. Because let me tell you, if the people who you are trying to sell this business plan to, whether it's a partner who you're working with, you know, for free or whatever, or it's your sponsorship, or maybe you're sending it in to get a scholarship to some business course or something, right? You have to be able to get them to get you, okay? Because if they don't get you, neither do your customers and clients. So I hope that makes a lot of sense. Your market analysis. Ooh, we're getting into the technical shit now, girls. Okay. So far, everything that I have told you about absolutely needs to be included in your plan. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It needs to be in your business plan. Okay. But as you go through this, I want you to remember, we are sticking to the basics and we are saving the intricate shit for the professionals. And what that means is, don't overthink this shit, okay? Put these components together as I've explained, and boom, you're going to have a very simple, very clear and concise business plan, okay? So the description of your market and your niche is going to go under your market analysis. And what that means is you are going to do some digging. You're going to do some spy work, okay? You're going to throw a little shade to these other competitors. And it's not in a shady way, even though we're going to call it shade. Really what you're trying to dig and find out is what they're doing, what their customers like, what their customers don't like, what their customers want more of, and how much it's costing. How much revenue are they drawing in, okay? So what I would suggest for this part is you find 2 to 3 of your biggest competitors, or people that maybe you're not competing with them yet, but that is your dream, right? You know, you work hard until your idols become your rivals. And so those people who you are wishing to become your rivals are the ones you're going to do this market analysis on, okay? And then you need to do some digging to your potential clients and your ideal clients and all that. So that's where you're going to be able to find the need and the demand for your product. If you are catering to and I'll be honest, I know a lot of people say, oh my God, you know, this is my product, this is my service, and it's for anybody who has some fucking greenbacks. Well, let me tell you, honey, that is not how you secure the bag. You have to be laser fucking focused on who you want to deal with. And so when you find that group of people, whoever they are, it is your job to figure out what they need and what the demand is for your product. Because if you have a product, you may not necessarily have to get rid of it all the way, but you can probably tweak it based on what your ideal clients and customers are saying that they need. So let me give you an example. Say you're a weight loss coach, you're a wellness coach, right? And you have this product and you do it this particular way. And the people are saying, you know, I know that you keep saying that the reason that I should join or work with you is because I can lose weight fast. But I don't really care about losing weight fast. Really, what I want to do is just feel good. And I want to have a consistent routine that's easy. Like, I just don't want it to be complicated. I don't want to take a million pills, or I don't want to do a million things to make this work, even if it works fast. I don't want it to work fast. That's not my concern. And so it doesn't mean that you're changing your product to meet the demand of it. And especially if you hear that your ideal clients and customers are saying the same thing over and over and over again, you know what I mean? Then that's probably consensus for the entire market. And so with that, you can then adjust how you deliver your benefits. So you're not changing the product, okay? You're just changing how you present it. Because I'm going to be honest with you, as long as I've been in business, people don't know what the fuck they want, okay? We know what they need, and they think they know what they want. So we listen to them, and then the thing that we know they need, we make it fit what they think they want. I know that sounds like fucking algebra, but it's what it is. And so then you're going to take that market research conclusion, right? That all the data that you've gathered up from looking at the description of your market, what your niche is doing, what your competitors are doing, and then the demand for your product. You're going to take all that together, and you're going to create a nice summary for market analysis. Okay, you're going to make sure you hit on all those points. This does not need to be a fucking dissertation. Okay, again, we are sticking to the basics, and we are saving the intricate shit for the professionals. Okay. So let's get into the fun shit, the stuff I love. Marketing and sales strategy. Okay, everybody gets all scared when we say sales strategy, but let's be honest, we're all in business and we're not making sales. We're not in fucking business. We're doing hobby shit, okay? So don't get scared. Don't get clam up on me, girls. Now, how will you promote super fucking important, your investors, the people who sponsor you, all that good shit, a bank, a loan, a partner, your husband, your wife, whatever, is going to be like, okay, I need to know how you're going to sell this shit. I don't give a damn. If you're trying to get your husband or wife on board to offer you to like invest in your business, they're going to want to know up front, how the fuck are you going to get people to see you? So this is important no matter who the hell you're talking to. So how will you promote? How will you get visible? How will you get in front of the right people? What is your plan of action for people to see what you offer? Because you're not in business unless people know you are, okay? Also, how will you get your product or your service to the customers? Now, if you're an online industry and your products are like digital services or digital products, like a lot of mine are, then they can get instant access via download buttons, or I can email it to them, right? But if you have a product, say you have a t-shirt business, or you sell stationery, or you sell hats or accessories for business workers and blah, blah, blah. Maybe you sell weight loss products or whatever. How the fuck does your product get to your customers? Because that's actually not only is that a marketing and sales strategy, but that's also for cost. We need to know that for cost reasons, right? So that is very important. How long will it take them to get it? I recently purchased something from someone, and this is, no shade, but I didn't read it. I'm not going to lie. I purchased this t-shirt. It was fucking awesome. I couldn't wait to get the t-shirt. I thought I was going to have it to go out of town for my show, and realized it's fucking 21 days before I get it. And so while I love her clothing line, I was a little irritated because I'm like, what the fuck, 21 days, There's drop shipping methods that are much faster than that. Now, here's the deal with that. Because I love her and I love her clothes, I will probably still order again, but at least I know that I better order it well in advance. But for a customer who has no relationship with that person, they may not order again, and they may get pissed off because it's like, what the fuck, 3 weeks, okay? So those are things you need to consider. Cost for promotion and distribution. So again, we just kind of talked about that. How much is it going to cost you to actually get visible? Are you going to pay for ad space? Are you going to pay for Facebook ads? Are you going to sponsor someone else's events for yourself, right? How much is that going to cost you so that you can add that into your budget, your monthly budget, when you are doing your business expenses, okay? And then also, how will you be measuring your effectiveness? And what I mean by that is, how will you know that the promotions that you're doing are working? So that needs to be included as well. How do you know it's working? How are you tracking it? And what are you going to do about it if you need to like reroute? Okay, so maybe have a plan B in there as well, basically. You're going to put all this together. And again, one giant fucking summary of marketing and sales strategy. And now if you want to, you can break this up into 2 sections where you do like your marketing and then the cost of promotion and distribution. You can do it separately if that makes it easier for you. Again, this is however we can get the information down and it's easy for you to understand, as well as anybody who reads over your plan or is in a potential investor or someone who is interested in your product, okay? Stick to the motherfucking basics. Organizational management. Holy shit, it's getting more complicated, but it's really not that bad. So here's the deal. When you're talking about the legal structure of your business, we have a whole nother training on that. When you talk about the legal structure of your business, we're just saying, what are you? Are you an incorporation, or corporation, an S corporation, LLC, sole proprietorship, all those things, right? Because that's another thing that an investor is going to want to know. Now, if you are creating this plan for you only, This is not for an investor or sponsors or partnerships or anything. This is simply for you to grow and cultivate your business and stay on track and measure your effectiveness. Then you do not need this section. Okay. Now you can leave this section there for yourself so that you can just kind of glance at it. And maybe as you add people to your, your board, then you can go with it then, right? And how much you're gonna have to pay these people. Like if you have to budget in for like a virtual assistant or a personal assistant or a driver or a delivery person or whatever, like you can add that there. However, actually that can go under your distribution and promotional services. But people who like play key roles, so they're doing your financial stuff and they're doing anything that is not dependent on getting visible or getting product out, then they would go in this section. If this is in-house, you can pretty much just say, hey, because you know what you are, right? You know if you're LLC or an incorporation or whatever, you probably can skip this. But if this is going to go out to someone who's going to help you further, then this is something that you do want to have. You can keep it simple. If it's only you and an assistant, that's it. Those are the key players. Then just add it and don't overthink it and move the hell on. It is what it is. And as you grow, you can add to this section. Okay. So let's talk about the financial data. This is one I think that trips up a lot of people because they're like, oh my God, I haven't made any fucking money yet. What the hell am I supposed to fucking show you? Well, if you haven't made any money yet, well, fuck it. You're zero, you're negative, whatever. Okay. If you're not making any money in your business yet, then, that's a whole nother training too. So what you're going to track here is cash flow. I don't care if it was $11, $13, $6. It needs to be tracked because this is how you're going to figure out if you're in the red. Okay, so cash flow that's coming in versus expenses is what you're paying going out. And yes, I know that in the conception of your business and the baby stages of your business, you're probably going to be in the red most of the fucking time. You probably won't break even for quite some time. That's okay. We still need to know what's going on because even if your cash flow is coming in and your expenses are more, that percentage, that ratio that you have tells a lot about where you're going, okay? If you've been in business for a while and you've been making sales and you're just getting around to making your business plan, then we want to know your history. So what's coming in, what have you spent in the past, and then your trends. So what have you done now, and then what are you projecting in the future? Now, there's several ways that you can attack this or you can approach it. You can do this based on quarters or you can do it monthly. What's going to be best is there is no best. It's what is going to work best for you. So if you're really good at tracking it by the quarter or the month, or it's easier for you to stay on top of it each week and then at the month you do this, that's totally fine. There is a fuck ton of accounting software that will tally the stuff up for you, as well as if you're using payment processors, you can always pull your reports and records from that as well. So don't make this hard, don't make this fucking rocket science, use the tools that you have to make your life easier. Okay. So if you're processing payments through PayPal or Stripe or Square or Shopify or any of those things, pull the reports. They will give you the data, okay? Now, what you do need to be very careful of and mindful of is what you send out because you may not always be paying from a business account. If you're first starting out, you're probably paying most things from your personal account. Let's be real. People try to make it like, oh, you have to have all of these things to get started. But let's be honest, how many of us really had a business account before we started selling products? There's a few of you who did, but it's a whole bunch of us who didn't. And I know I was one of them. So when you're paying for things for your business and it's coming out of your personal account, I need you to be aware of it. One of the ways, and you guys, some of my very technical analytical friends are totally going to fucking stone me for this shit. But one way that I was keeping up with my expenses was looking for receipts through my email. Yes, people, that is what I did. But you know what? I was able to pull all the shit that I spent on my business. It was a fuck ton, and I was glad to be able to find it. So one of the things that I do is once I get a receipt, I throw it in a folder so that I can find it and check it out that way. But again, your cash flow versus your expenses. And then we want your history. If you don't have any history, well, fuck it, you don't have any history. And so start with your current and your future. The point really is to just start tracking this shit so that when you do grow your business plan or maybe get it done by a professional or need to present it to someone, you do have a track record. So no time is too late to start tracking it. So let's talk about funding requests. Again, this is a section that only needed if you are going to be requesting funds, right? If you're going to be requesting funding. The last section we talked about for the financial data, I suggest it's even in your in-house informal business plan, because that is going to be really good for you to track your expenses, your revenue, and things like that. If you're not concerned about that part, what are you even in business for, right? So definitely keep that section for yourself. But this funding request part, if you're not requesting money outside sources, looking for partnerships or sponsorships, this may not be something that you need. But if you are, these are the things that you need to include. So how much money do you need? Now you see why financial data is fucking important, because you don't know how much you need if you're not factoring in all of these things, okay? You don't know what you need in your plan if you don't know what you're spending or the things that you need. So then they're going to want to know, what is the money going to be used for? Where are these funds going? What are they going to pay for, cover, etc., right? And then payback. So if it's an investor, if it's a loan, like if it's a bank or some type of situation like that, then you obviously are going to have to pay it back, right? So you need to figure out that's where your projected money comes in. So how long will it take you to pay it back and all that good stuff. If it's an investor, and I guess this is probably a little bit of a mix up, but if it's an investor, people are investing for a return on your revenue, not a payback of the actual money that they give you. They invest, most people invest for a portion of your company, for a share of your company. And so with that is where you can do a little bit yourself, but I'm going to be honest with you, when you start talking about the ROI and selling shares of your company and how long it's going to take you to pay this loan back, then in that case, you want to say the intricate shit for the professionals, yo. It started out as a song that ended as a rap, trap. Seriously though, that is something that you probably do want to employ some professional services. Now, still having your financial data on hand, even if you're getting a grant. Okay, so say if when Brown Girls Billionaire Gang starts to release funds for startups, right, and business growth for Brown Girls, then we need to see the board needs to see the financial data. So we need that as well, which is what makes it easier for your investors and loan people and all that good stuff. But for somebody who's giving you a grant, you may not need something so intricate because you're not expected to pay it back. But these people who want their money back or who want an ROI as a share of your company or whatever, then, well, you need to be showing this information. The other thing that goes in the funding request is pertinent information. So anything else that you think contributes to your, to either get them to sway your way, and things that will get them to gain confidence in what you're doing is going to be added to your funding request. Again, we won't get so deep into this because we're talking about informal business plans, things to keep you on track, things to use for partnerships and sponsorships or whatever. Stick to the basics, save the intricate shit for the professionals. And then you have an appendix. This is not always needed. Again, this is going to be based on your intentions of your business plan. So with the appendix, that's going to be additional items that add value, okay? So that could be resumes. It could be the bios of your board or your organization. It could be nonprofits and organizations that you've helped out, that you've contributed to, that you've represented. It can be additional market research that really wasn't so important to add in the summary, but things that you feel like will sway the person who is looking at it and build confidence in your company. And then any supporting documentation that you feel like will also add to that. So supporting documentation could be business registration, tax files, any type of recognition and thank yous and such, okay? So those would be in your appendix. Again, if you're having an appendix, most likely that means you are doing an intricate business plan where you're gonna have a professional and they will be able to add even more value and let you know exactly what you need to add to your business plan. But the other sections that we talked about are actually sufficient for you to have in-house, as well as get a sponsorship, a grant, or a partnership, okay? So Can't get enough of the gang, can't get enough of Ashley motherfucking Ray, or maybe you just need some more training because you don't know your ass from your elbow, then check us out here on Twitter at BG Billionaire, Instagram at Brown Girls Billionaire Gang, and then our website is browngirlsbillionairegang.com. Again, for your business plan, stick to the basics and save the intricate shit for the professionals. I am now going to open this up for questions. As soon as I